Good evening and welcome to this very first episode of Tips with Miss Guy. I'm really happy that you took time to be with us this evening. I know that there's so much to expect from this podcast going forward. So I want you to pin it on your calendar every second and fourth Tuesday. Yeah. Pin it onto your calendar and be present. I know that you're gonna have so much good gems that's gonna be dropping from students, for parents, for teachers as well. I have some teachers coming in, to share tips. But today we are here for a very very special podcast, and our guest for today is Miss Shanice Liburd. So please make her welcome in the comments. Leave your love there. She's here today to speak about many things, but specifically, making it count. Her very first book, and this book is so powerful. And today we're gonna hear all about it, and also what she has to offer. So much things happening. So this episode is actually sponsored by I Am Legacy International, and this is actually one of the babies that came from Miss Shanice, and it has grown so much over the last couple of years. So I want to welcome her to the screen and just to introduce herself to all of us. Welcome, Miss Shanice.
Hi, good evening, viewers. Good evening, students, parents, teachers, coaches, guiders, well wishers. Good evening to all. Happy to be here this evening.
Welcome again. So I know that you are excited to be here. You heard about the making of this podcast, and I know that you have so much to share. So tell us about yourself. Introduce yourself to everyone.
All right, so again, I am Shanice WordChanger, and I am an educator. I wear many hats, but this evening I would stick a little bit on that end of the educator area. I've been tutoring, teaching, educating for over 10 years. As a matter of fact, as soon as I left sixth form, I was assisting, or while in sixth form, I was assisting friends, and I also did a bit of tutoring in college, in university, completing my first degree. So I have a passion to motivate students as well. So I'm also a mentor. So I'll talk a little bit about that. So just being able to share my journey, that's how I help, that's how I motivate students, because I believe that I have a story to tell. So then that leads me into my other hat as a first time author, writing the book. I have a physical copy here with me, Making It Count, 21 Days of Motivation for Caribbean Students. This is the hat of my academic journey. And then there's another piece to the hat to be added later on. But this year, I believe is going to make a difference in the lives of students, not only students, parents, well wishers, guidance, counselors, administrators, government ministers. I think this is a book you
That's
need to
right.
have in your hand.
That's right. After reading that book cover to cover, I could really say that it is filled with gems and inspiration, motivation, drivers that is necessary for every student. And as she said, it's not only for the students, as an educator myself, I could really say that it has really pushed me, So I want to say to persons, don't limit what is in that book, and I want you to tell us a little more about making it count. Where did it start? What was the whole push behind it? How was the process? Let us know all about that.
All right, so I found myself in classrooms offering extra lessons many years ago. And every time, as I teach, I had this way that I would utilize, I would, or I should say, approach or method, where I would just share different experiences over the years. Because some of my students were open enough to say, Miss, I'm having this issue, or Miss, what do you think I should do about this? Asking for advice. And then I would share with them just pieces of my journey. And then one day I said to myself, you're always sharing something about your academic journey with your students. I mean, look Look at how you have progressed through your academia, over the years. Why not put all of those stories together in a book? And so I did. And then when I did, I had a plan to publish the book as an ebook because I really couldn't see the book as a physical hard copy. And I remember approaching a friend, his name is Daniel Francis, and he wrote his first book, The Millennium Mind. And I asked him for some advice. And then he said to me, why publish an ebook? See your book with pages, literal pages. And I must say, kudos, thanks, even to God for using him, giving
Big
him
up
that
Daniel.
inspiration. Yes, big up Daniel for giving me, that piece of advice. And today I have this physical book. I could not see it. So it really speaks, this here speaks about vision, and if and scope. So my scope was just an ebook. And when I got that piece of advice, I said, wow. I had to sit and ponder. And then I said, okay. I feel as if I was a bit reluctant at first, but when I really, really thought about the advice, I said, okay, I'll give it a try. No matter how small the book turns out to be, it is a book. And this
That's
is the
it.
book with, at least 100 pages. So that was the motivation behind it. So even as I speak about that, some of you looking on, you might have a vision, but I just shared something with you about my vision, and at the pointed time I needed to widen my scope. So even as I share about this, I want to say to somebody right now, widen your scope. Maybe you're
That's it.
thinking a little bit too small. I was thinking too small for this book. And because you meet people along the way, destiny helpers, people who just come along to give you assistance and advice, you take it and you run with it because it makes a difference in your journey. So I was motivated while trying to prepare a book of motivation for students. I needed to be motivated to
Come on.
make it bigger, to
Come
make this
on.
dream, to make this vision bigger for you to see. So that is a bit about my journey. Look, I had so many rejections along the way. I spoke from as early as primary school days when I had issues with spelling. Thought I would not have made it academically when I passed for my last choice secondary school, and I
Wow.
bawled. I bawled. Every year when students receive their SCA results, I feel it because I felt it. I bawled. Up to a few recent years ago, I used to cry on that day when I see students receiving their results, and I'm looking on the news because I know
You
how it
feel.
felt. Yes, and then going through transferring from that school, and going through CSEC, not getting all ones like some friends, and going through CAPE and not getting all ones, and getting so many rejections from university and all of that, and then having still being able to complete my first degree, Bachelor of Science in Engineering, with highest honors, then my
Come on.
master's degree, and then entering med school at age 30. I said, no, I'm sitting on something that I need to share with a student out there, because year after year, I see students receiving rejections but not being able to handle it, not knowing how to hold on, not knowing how to stay motivated. Perhaps you may not have that circle that would who would keep you motivated, but look, I've created that circle for you. 21 days. Just sit with me for 21 days. I've had persons in their 60s who, thought, well, look, life is over now. I'm living in the pension era. And they said, look, you motivated me to think about going back to school, going back to study
I was
something.
going
Be-
there to tell you to
yeah,
speak to the people who might think it's too late for them.
yes.
It's time for them to just quit and say, well, time passed. But from your experience, even being at med school, in your 30s, how has that been for you?
That has been an amazing experience. Look, I put it this way, sometimes you go through life and you wonder, well, that's it. I can't make it no more. It's the end of the road for me. I was there once a few years ago in my late 20s. I thought, look, that's it. I am done wherever I am, but I always just used to feel this pull that's pulling me. And one day it was just extra strong, and I knew that I had to take on this journey. I Before entering med school, I had some anxiety because I was wondering how am I going to cope, being an older student. But let me tell you, it has never been better. I was welcomed, into that community. I'm having still here having an excellent time, having made how to say lifelong friends with even students who are in their early 20s, and they don't look at me any different because we are all students. We are all on this journey. As a matter of fact, in moments, yes, they have that level of high respect for me, but when we're together, we're studying, we're a community. So let me tell you, when it's your time, it's your time. And if you are in your 20s and you think, well, look, I never got into med the first time. I'm speaking to that person specifically because that was my journey. And you tell yourself, well, I will never be that. I can say to you, don't stop. Do not stop trying. Do not stop looking at for the opportunities to get in the door. Suppose you're in your 30s or suppose you're in your 40s and you're wondering if you can. Of course you can. Of course you can. Suppose you're in your 60s. I've seen people graduating from university in their 60s and 70s. So then who are we? Then who are you? So I want to motivate you that there is a seat in that classroom waiting for you.
That's good. Go and make it count,
Yes.
And that's something that I know so many persons are struggling with at this stage. I wonder if I should, if I could, if I would be able to do it. But today we want to encourage you to push and to go forward. I want you to speak to a student right now who is already in the process but is totally discouraged, maybe overburdened, entering into the final year, or even somebody that you would have mentioned, or you didn't pass for your first choice, and maybe would have now entered that school. Give them some advice going forward.
Mhm. All right. So where you are now, I can see you. You're probably not seeing your tomorrow, but I'm here to tell you that your tomorrow is up ahead. So how do you hold on for the next couple of years or the next couple days or for the next semester? You have to stay motivated. Find that strength from within, that God-given strength to stay motivated. Find a rhythm. What how am I going to hold on for the next year, for the next 2 years? You have to find a rhythm. You have to understand that purpose. If God has given you that opportunity, I'm speaking to the students who is in their final year. You're on the home stretch. You're on the home stretch, and you have been given enough energy, enough stamina to get through this, what we sometimes call a degree, a marathon. You can get through it. You have to make this experience and this opportunity that you have been blessed with count. Don't give up now. And even if you have experienced failure along the journey, I want to tell you that inside every failure, there is success for sure. Because when you fail, your next option is not to walk away, it's not to give up, it's to get back up again and keep going at it over and over again. I've gotten so many rejections. It is not funny. I've sat in classrooms among persons who I would say they are brilliant, and see myself excel, beyond measure. So whatever you put in, if you put in that hard work and dedication, that is what you're going to get out. So that is what I would say to you, that student. Even if you're the student, you feel like you passed for your last choice, let me tell you something. The name of your school or the title of your school will not determine where you end up, or doesn't determine
Wow,
who
that's
you are.
good.
That's not your name. So if that name bothers you because you feel like this is not the choice I wanted, let me tell you, that is not your name. That is the name of the institution. But what you go and what you make of that experience is what is going to make the difference. So I would say to you now, make the best of that experience and that opportunity, and you will see what awaits you up ahead.
Okay, that's perfect. And I really hope that they're gonna grab that nuggets and really plant it, go write it down, stick it up somewhere, but more so I want you also get this book. So making it count. Tell the listening audience where can they purchase one of these books.
All right, so you can get this book, Making It Count 21 Days of Motivation for Caribbean Students. You can get it as a Kindle on Amazon, or you can also get it as a paperback, hard copy on Amazon as well. Beyond Amazon, we have copies in Trinidad, so we'll share more information after about the links and who you'd have to reach out to in Trinidad. And also, I have it available in Barbados. So if you have a friend or if you're from Barbados and you're listening, we also have some hard copies here in Barbados.
Okay, perfect. And this episode was really sponsored by I Am Legacy International. And you can contact the phone numbers on the screen to really get the books if you're in Trinidad and Tobago or even in Barbados. Send them a WhatsApp message, and I know that they provide a reliable response. So I know that you're going to get through with them. So please ensure that you grab a copy, not tomorrow, not next week, but tonight. Literally put it in your cart if you need to have the money right now, like put it in your cart. It's something that you deserve. It's a gift to yourself. I want you all to really take the nuggets from it and push yourself. So I am Legacy International. Let's speak a little bit about that. I know that this has been a service that is over a decade old, and it has been growing from level to level, glory to glory. So tell us all about I am Legacy and also what you offer as an institution.
All right, so I Am Legacy International is my baby, as I would call it. It is an academic enrichment company. So at present, we currently offer SAT prep. So for students wishing to study in the US, you can come to our SAT Premier Prep. That's the name of our SAT program, and prepare for that exam. We also offer science classes as well. But I would say right now we are heavily offering the SAT prep. Why SAT prep? In case you're wondering, well, I did my first degree in the US. So I've been through the rigors, and I wanted to be able to offer a student centered SAT prep for all the students that come in. We have small class sizes, so our students' needs are met. One of the other areas that I would say is more active right now. You can come if you want assistance with chemistry at any level, from lower school, fourth form, all the way up to university level. From time to time, we offer other sciences, but I would say this is what is active, and also career guidance. So if you're a student and you're not sure what you want to be when you grow up or what you want to study at university, you can also reach out to me for a career guidance consultation session. If you're a parent and you know your child is a bit lost and you would require that assistance as well, you can reach out to me in that regard. We also host science workshops and seminars and camps. So it's where students come and they become interactive. It's interactive and they engage with science projects and activities. Also have different professionals in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, come in to chat with students about their career and about their journey. So it's all about giving students that a second or third or fourth option, things to go home and think about. What career? Oh, I didn't think about this before. Maybe I should look into that. So it's all about opening the eyes of students and parents, and even widening your scope. So those are some of the services that we offer at present. And I would also add in there, if you're a tutor or you're a university graduate and you want to offer tutoring, or you have a love or a knack for tutoring, I also train teachers or tutors in offering their classes, in ensuring that their classes are student centered and they are offering appropriate and relevant information according to the curriculum that they are providing.
Wow, such diversity being offered, and I really want to say, being a part of once a student And at one point I would have partnered, Scholars in Academics Academy would have partnered with Legacy International, even as we would have pushed forth a camp, Science 101. And Miss Shanice would have said, let's do this. It was really her one of her babies. And seeing the interaction of the students, and seeing the engagement, the experiments, is so much good stuff. So I don't want you to miss out on it. So I want you to go follow their page on Facebook, Legacy International, to stay updated as to camps to come, programs that's going to be offered, career guidance, workshops, all the good things that she would have said before. Stay posted. Go follow them tonight. Don't even forget. Go follow them. Because I know that so much more is to come. I also want to say congratulations on receiving your master's in education. I want you to tell us, how has that been, and also how has it changed the game for I Am Legacy International.
All right. So, as many might know, and some may not know, completing a master's is not a walk in the park. It's a lot of hard work, and a lot of master's degree also entails research, plenty research. So, it was a rigorous experience, but because of my love for education, I found it fitting to complete my Master of Arts in Education. How this Master of Arts made a difference, even now, I would say I have a different outlook on education. I would say pedagogy, the way we approach teaching, the style. So I would have been able to utilize much more styles. I would have been able to experiment on different methods while teaching students to see, what is best. How are students coming away from this session when I use a specific method versus another. It's also allowed me to have a fine-tuned approach to teaching and assisting other tutors. So now other tutors work with me as well, and I'm able to look on at their sessions and comment on some of the areas of improvement, because it's all about ensuring that our students are learning. What good it is to teach a class, and then when your students leave, they have learned nothing. They would then say, I did not understand anything. So I look at things, very, very, with a very fine tooth comb, as they say, in fine detail, to ensure that student engagement. How are my students engaging with me or with one of my tutors? What's happening? What are the improvements we are seeing? So that Master of Arts in Education allowed me to look in more detail. It gave me more scope, and then it allowed me to be able to look at curriculum reform differently as well, which I think is something we really need to
It's
work on in the
needed.
Caribbean,
It
and
is
even
needed.
in different programs. So I would say from that perspective, if you ever looking for an education consultant, I'm also available in that regard, because of experience and being able to look at programs and curriculum to see how current curriculum may not meet the needs of some of our students today. I find that we don't always appreciate that in a classroom we have different learners. So then we're teaching with one approach and one method. Then it means that we are not meeting the needs of all our students. So that's very, very important to me, and my students know that.
That's really good. And I, as a teacher, as a tutor as well, definitely, curriculum reform is needed more than ever before at this stage. I know that there are talks, in different ministries of education about it. I heard CXC mentioning it. So I know it's something that is needed, and I know that even as you put your foot into that area, that it's going to be something explosive. So I look forward to seeing and knowing, more about that. And I want to say that, as tutors and educators, that we really take it to heart, as to how education is going right now. And without a shadow of a doubt, I know that, Legacy International will be one of the best companies to really take education to the next level, to a new place, a new dimension. Even as we switch times, and coming up, one of the things I would have realized during the pandemic is that the technological shift was really hard for many educators, and I know for sure that Legacy International is one that is up to par when it comes to technology and shifting, and being innovative and all of that. So I want to say congratulations on all sides. I want to say to persons again, grab your copy of Making It Count. It is well worth it. And I want to say to you all, do not hesitate. Do not hesitate. So again, I want to say thank you so much to Miss Shanice WordChanger. I know that you're here really to change this world for the better. And I want to say thank you for saying yes to being on the podcast. I know that we're gonna have more things coming where you are concerned. So I give you so much thanks, and we give God all the glory for this opportunity to share. So viewers, we are coming to the end of this episode of Tips with Miss Guy. And I know that there's so much more to come, so I really want you to be locked in every second and fourth Tuesday at 7 p.m. That's Atlantic Standard Time. So if you have a different time zone, you can always shoot the page a message to know when is your time to tune in. And if you're also in the educational field, whether a parent, teacher, student, and you really want to be a part of this experience of the podcast, feel free to send us an email, scholarsacademy868@gmail.com, or you can even send us a message on Facebook or Instagram. Reach out to us if you have something to share, or you think that will be podcast worthy. We are just a message or an email away. All right. So I really want to say thank you so much for taking the time to view. And I know that, this whole engagement is going to be explosive for the honor and glory of God. So again, thank you, and have an excellent evening. God bless you.